Right, so this is a style update on the game in its current form. So this is before we do a kind of reasonable change to the overall style. So you can see things have moved on quite a long way. We've got this new kind of style for the Void Rock area. The lighting's progressed a fair amount, and we've kind of populated the world with a lot more details, like basic props and things like that. So one thing you can see here is the new kind of floor texture. Now this floor texture, it's only really useful for the wall pieces rotated at this angle, where you've got two kind of separate wall pieces. At the moment it's being used on every floor piece, but that's just to kind of test out the overall style. Eventually there'll be a different piece on kind of every tile. You can also see we've worked on the lighting a fair amount, so making sure that kind of each area is lit enough for the player to see and that there's something going on in the void areas. So another thing we've done here is, if we come in here, this is just a white box of one of the room areas. So you can see this is like the skeleton of a dinosaur. And this will be populated with like a nest with eggs and other kind of random bones as well. The idea is that there will be a couple of rooms in each dungeon that you play, and each room will be different, so each one will follow a kind of different subject matter. So there might be like a church, a torture chamber, a mess hall, and you've got ones like that as well, like a skeleton of some creature that's been kept in there. You can also see the world has been populated quite a lot more, so we've got things like these minecarts, which are obviously repeating too much at the moment. We've got these scaffolding props that sit above the kind of main mine area, which added like a nice bit of depth along with the void tiles. We've also stuck a little bit of foliage and things in there too, but none of this stuff is kind of complete yet, but at least we're starting to get a good idea of how the overall game is going to look. We've done a few kind of other props as well. So here's the actual kind of exit area. You can just kind of make it if you jump correctly, but I can't seem to make that now. So I'll just try loading this one more time to see if I can get a larger area. That's still working. So again, that doesn't have a large kind of corridor area, and the reason I want to show you this area is because there's a couple of other kind of prop types in these. So obviously in this video this is a bit of a disadvantage because having to wait until an area like that is generated, but you can see how useful it is that we have this variety in the level design, thanks to the procedural kind of generation of each kind of dungeon section. You can also see the room placement from here, so we've only got 2 rooms in here, and yes, they are both the same at the moment, but obviously that will develop with time, so there'll be loads of different rooms. And obviously it's kind of as many as you want with this. It's how long is a piece of string, so the longer we have to develop and the more guys we can get working on it, the more kind of different rooms we can have. So this is weird because literally normally it comes with a big section, normally every couple of goes. You can see a bigger room there. So for some reason we don't seem to be able to generate that, so we'll just have a look at some of the props here. This will help you see things. So you can see here we've got like a mine, a well type prop. We've got a different scaffolding prop, another type of well there, and kind of different torches and things like that. There's our minecart there too. The reason it's all black like this is due to the fog of war material that we're using. So it's a bit of a shame that we don't have the finished floor in here yet. Because as you can see, the floor fills up such a large area of the screen that it is going to be essential to get that floor just right and have a lot of variety in it. And hopefully you'll be able to see that in the next video that I make. So yet again, we don't have that kind of area. You can see here a larger kind of corridor area. So we've got 4 bits here, and this is where those extra props, such as the well over here, will be placed, and also the kind of sets of boxes as well. So we've got things like groups of crates and stuff like that too. And now the reason I'm showing you this style now is because it'll be good for us to go back, because one thing we're going to do over the next week or so is actually change the camera angle to make it a bit closer in. And the reason we're doing this is because this is being developed for things like the iPad and for the iPhone. So although this looks fine on a big screen like this, when you come to use it on a smaller kind of mobile device, it'll be a lot harder to kind of see the character. You can see he's already very small on screen here, so you can imagine that on a handheld device. It's going to be a lot more harder to see the character, and we want the character to be something that people kind of relate to, since you can dress him up and different kind of collectibles and stuff like that. So here you go, you can see all the different kind of mine areas. And also, if you look at these crates, if I press E on these, you see I'm getting a bit of a speed boost from that. So yeah, still a lot of work to do on this, but at least you can see how the graphic style is evolving. And in this long kind of straight, you can see how the floor is kind of working here. Obviously we want to have a lot more kind of curvature to this, but at least you can see like the overall style of it in action. Okay, so that's the end of this update. So next update should be coming next week.